I am former President Khama of Botswana, and I would like to invite you to join me in this narrative on the BRICS Africa channel.
The Brenthurst Library, nestled in the vibrant city of Johannesburg, stands as a distinguished bastion of knowledge and cultural heritage. Esteemed diplomats and revered art researchers find solace in its extensive collection, a treasure trove with invaluable resources. For diplomats seeking a nuanced understanding of Africa's intricate history and diverse cultural tapestry, the library's comprehensive assortment offers a gateway to the continent's artistic evolution.
It's not just tonight. It's actually been a journey by Greg Mills and the Brenthurst Foundation in trying to expose the importance and the need for democracy on our continent and the avoidance of conflict. So everything that he has been involved in and the books he has been writing has been done with an attempt to try to influence the narrative towards achieving the best in terms of benefits and welfare for the peoples of Africa, and exposing where leadership has gone wrong and how people have suffered as a result of that, and how drawing examples on what can be done, what can be achieved by leaders in order to do well for them. And that is why they draw the two examples of rich state and poor state and how leadership can influence whether you're going in that direction or the other one. Many people on this continent would be in poverty for two reasons. Currently, in this day and age, you would have, in the global village we live in, you have external influences which are headwinds when it comes to governance. Today as we speak, we've got the war in Ukraine. We've got climate change, which is affecting how governments are able to provide for their people. But a lot of poverty is brought about by poor leadership. There's no doubt, because even before Ukraine, the Russian war, before global, the climate change was starting to take a hold, people were sweltering in poverty on our continent. And it's just unfortunate that you'll find that leaders want to perpetuate their incumbency, and they think that they are God's gift to their countries in not wanting to relinquish power and to stay there indefinitely. So that's why on parts of the continent you've seen leaders who have been there 20 years, 30 years, going on, sick, old, senile, and not adding any value whatsoever. So it's just a personal journey, a joyride that they're on, in wanting to stay on in power at the expense of their people. And that's why we shouldn't be surprised when now we're starting to see a mushrooming of coups once again on our continent. And even though some of the nations and regional bodies, the continental body, will condemn coups, and they need to be condemned. There's no doubt the place of the military is not running governments. But some of the reasons the military have stepped in is because of corrupt governments, corrupt leaders. And where leaders have used the security forces to perpetuate their incumbency against the will of the people, we are now finding that in some countries the military are now siding with the people to remove such leaders. So we shouldn't be shouting at the top of our voices, condemning military governments, without first condemning the situation that brought about those military governments feeling that they have to step in and take over. You know, it's not like the leaders and those in positions of influence don't know what is the right thing to do. Books have been written forever, and they'll continue to be written forever. But do these people who need to change ever pick up the books they should and read them and say, you know, actually this book is talking about me. I need to change. So unfortunately, the books will be read maybe by the people who you've already, it's like you're preaching to the converted. The people that really need to pick up these books and read them are the ones who those books are relating to. So yes, we would hope that they would make a change. But it's good that anyway, those books are being written, they are out there. And all we can do is just try to ensure that they get as much coverage as possible. And the more that they can be advertised as to what is in the book, it would reach more people, and hopefully the ordinary citizens, especially the young people. And this is what is important, that the future generations of leaders will have read those books and know, and they can tell the difference between right and wrong when it comes to governance.
From the hallowed realms of traditional African artistry to the avant-garde expressions of contemporary creatives, the collection illuminates African art's profound depth and dynamism. Art researchers, eager to unearth the untold stories woven into the fabric of Africa's artistic narrative, find an unparalleled sanctuary within these walls. Rich manuscripts, rare documents, and a mosaic of scholarly works beckon, promising an immersive exploration of African art, artists, and cultural artifacts.
We're at the Brenthurst Library, which is an Afrikaner library. In other words, it's a library about Southern African history. And we have a magnificent collection of books and artworks and manuscripts and maps and photographs, mainly about Southern Africa, but also going into other countries in Africa. So it's a very important and valuable collection. And from time to time, we put up exhibitions. We utilize material that's in the library, and the current exhibitions, both this one and the one down the passageway we'll see in a moment. We had some interns coming into the library. Most of them were from WITS, and they worked here for a few months, and one of the interns actually put together this exhibition, which is Mountain and Maritime Mythologies. So what he did is he looked through our collections, and then he cherry-picked the items that he found interesting, and he put this together. So it's kind of out of his head, but it's, as this says, it explores visual representations of folklore relating to South Africa's diverse mountain and maritime environments. So it linked to, obviously, the Cape. Quite a lot of it's about the Cape because of the mountains. But as you go through, the exhibition includes older watercolors and older paintings. This is 18th century. This is 19th century, that's 19th century, and then you get to the more modern material. Going through here, Cecil Scottness produced a wonderful range of material that were lino cuts and things like that. So he thought that, say, that picture of Table Mountain was very evocative with a cloud on top of it. And then this is a mural that's actually at WITS. It's in the library at WITS. And this is an interpretation of the legend of Adamastor, which is a mythology around the Cape that was written by a Portuguese poet. But this was like a reinterpretation at WITS for the library there, with mythologies, with almost like Adam and Eve figures and the conflict between the Europeans and the Africans and things like that. So it's a very interesting exhibition that he managed to put together. Then we move on, we've got some sand art. You know, it's the library the collections within the library are so varied that you can almost think of any subject you want to think of and build something around it. And we have freedom to do what we want to do, so that's great. And it shows off the collections. So some of it's original material, some of it's prints, some of it's books, but that's what the library's about.
This repository serves as a vital compass in navigating the labyrinth of Africa's creative legacy, fostering a deeper appreciation and scholarly discourse within the global art community. Amidst the whispers of history and vibrant hues of artistic expression, the Brenthurst Library stands resolute, a beacon inviting diplomats and art researchers to unravel the captivating saga of African artistry.
Well, the library itself, it was started by Sir Ernest Oppenheimer. The collection itself was started by Sir Ernest Oppenheimer about 100 years ago. Harry Oppenheimer carried on collecting. And then it's a research library. We get postgraduate researchers coming in here, mainly postgraduate researchers, also people researching books, because we've got such a huge collection of anything to do with Southern African history, so it's like a one-stop shop for them. But yeah, but we get researchers on all sorts of subjects.